know what? My life is fucking miserable. I hate my fucking life. I hate it. Yeah, I stream for rent money. I don't like streaming. I don't like any of the games I play. I am fucking depressed and fucking miserable. I don't sleep. I eat like shit. I have no friends, no social life, and I'm fucking miserable. There it is.
It used to be the case that young people were the happiest age group, but something's changed. Over time, young people have been getting less and less happy. Now, they are the least happy age group. Many Gen Zers feel unsatisfied with their lives, are struggling to find motivation, and are going through a mental health crisis. What's going on, and is this going to continue getting worse? Chapter 1. The happiness drop. It's not just that young people have been getting less and less happy over time, they are officially the least happy age group, with even elderly adults now happier than those aged less than 30 years old. But to be clear, this isn't happening everywhere in the world. It's happening in Western countries, specifically the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Interestingly, in these countries, all age categories have shown a drop in happiness since 2006, but the biggest drop in happiness was seen for young people. In other words, this isn't a sudden crisis. This is something that's been going on since 2006, and to be honest, it's probably not going to get better anytime soon. Chapter 2. Unsatisfied with life. Happiness is about how you're feeling right now, whereas life satisfaction is about how you think your life is going in general. Are you where you want to be in life, or if not, do you at least feel like you're on the right track? So how is Gen Z going with life satisfaction? Not particularly well. The 2024 Voices of Gen Z study, which is based in the US, set out to investigate Gen Z's views about themselves, their school, and their future prospects. It surveyed just over 4,000 Gen Zers, aged 12 to 27 years old. The researchers found that only about half of Gen Zers feel like they're thriving in life, and only about half feel prepared for the future. Okay, but maybe it's normal for young people to feel like they're not thriving and that they're uncertain about the future. Interestingly, life satisfaction has been gradually increasing for young people over the past 2 decades, just not in Western countries. You can see that for the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, life satisfaction scores have continually been going down over the past 2 decades. And while these countries used to have the highest life satisfaction scores for young people, they are now lower compared to Western Europe, Central and Eastern Europe, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Chapter 3. Lacking motivation. The Voices of Gen Z study also looked at motivation in Gen Z by asking questions about engagement in school and jobs. They found that Gen Z do not feel engaged in school, and this has gotten worse over time when comparing 2023 to 2024. Examples include feeling less motivated to get good grades, and less Gen Zers feeling challenged by their schoolwork in a good way. Interestingly, only 48% of Gen Zers who are enrolled in middle school or high school actually feel motivated to go to school. Chapter 4. The mental health crisis. This was discussed by psychologist Jonathan Haidt in his book, The Anxious Generation. When looking at major depression in teens, there's been a 145% increase for girls and a 161% increase for boys since 2010. This is what mental illness looks like for college students. Notice how anxiety and depression have spiked, and notice how the spike seems to have started in 2010. Let's look at anxiety. Which group has the highest prevalence for anxiety? Clearly, ages 18 to 25. This age group typically has the highest prevalence for anxiety. But what's really interesting is seeing how much it spiked over time compared to the other age groups. The 26 to 34 age group has also shown an increase over time, but it's not as bad as the 18 to 25-year-old age group. Okay, but what if Gen Z is just better at recognizing symptoms and seeking professional help? It's not just that Gen Z is more aware of mental illness. We know this because they've also shown a spike in emergency room visits for self-harm, especially for girls, and also a spike in suicide rates. So this begs the question, what happened to Gen Z? Chapter 5. Why is this happening? First of all, the end of free play. You know how kittens chase after string, and how puppies like to play wrestle with each other. This is what play is. Play is how the young practice their survival skills in a safe environment, and it's what helps prepare them for adulthood. This is why kids need to play. It's instinctual. When kids play freely and without adult supervision, this helps them develop their problem-solving skills, creativity, and independence. As discussed in The Anxious Generation and Glow Kids, parents are now so paranoid of their children being unsupervised that these kids are growing up without opportunities for free play. The result? A generation of kids lacking in problem-solving skills, creativity, resilience, and independence. Also, high levels of anxiety and an over-reliance on adults for direction. Second of all, a digitalized upbringing. Did you notice something else about these graphs? It seems like this spike in mental health problems started at around 2010 to 2012. What was happening at this point in time? iPads were first released in 2010. Smartphones became widespread among teens. So by the end of 2012, smartphone ownership for teens exceeded 50%. Selfie cameras were introduced in 2010. Instagram was launched in 2010. And Snapchat was launched in 2011. All of these helped create the perfect storm for Gen Z to become addicted to screens. Chapter 6, Can the Damage Be Undone? While childhood and adolescence are considered sensitive periods for healthy development, the good news is that the brain does remain fairly adaptable throughout life. This means that, yes, much of the damage from a play-deprived childhood can be healed later on in life, especially with intentional effort. The bad news, though, is that we're now seeing a lot of the problems faced by Gen Z being carried over into Gen Alpha, born from 2010 onwards. In fact, Gen Alpha has already been described as online, dependent, and depressed. Gen Alpha, in fact, is the first generation to be completely immersed in technology, with many Gen Alphas starting on technology as early as babies. And they are also the first generation to be born into an AI world. And so I believe that the problems faced by Gen Alpha will be even worse compared to the problems faced by Gen Z. What are your thoughts? Be sure to share them in the comment section below.